Thank you so much for the introduction. Imagine you're a pharmacy student. You have 2 exams to study for, an assignment due tomorrow, and a 4-hour shift at your internship tonight. Rather than studying and working on your homework assignment, you just sat through a 2-hour presentation on burnout. The irony isn't lost on you. This happened in a course that I teach in our Doctor of Pharmacy program, and a comment on my course evaluation said, "These workshops are a waste of time. Please don't add to our burnout by making us sit through these seminars when our time could be better spent on other things." This wasn't just feedback, this was a wake-up call. Here's what we know. Like most health profession learners, Doctor of Pharmacy students are struggling. Research shows that they experience higher levels of stress than the general population and are at increased risk for sleep deprivation, lack of exercise, depression, anxiety, and ultimately burnout. The profession of pharmacy has recognized this problem, and numerous organizations have called for interventions. The accreditation standards now require that colleges and schools of pharmacy make effort to promote student resilience and well-being. But here's the problem. Knowing we need to act and knowing how to act effectively are 2 completely different things. Several years ago, I co-led an initiative to completely redesign our college's professional development curriculum. This curriculum historically existed only in the 3rd and 4th years of our PharmD program, and it focused primarily on post-graduation preparation, curriculum vitae writing, interview skills, and career planning. We felt this was no longer sufficient and made the decision to expand it into a comprehensive 8-semester course series, with each half-credit hour course focused on a different topic. When we gathered faculty, staff, and students to determine which topic should be covered in this expanded curriculum, there was consensus around one priority: wellness. We wanted to demonstrate that we were serious about student well-being by dedicating 2 of those 8 half-credit hour courses specifically towards wellness education. We refused to continue treating wellness like something extra that students had to squeeze into their already busy schedules, and instead committed to providing structured curricular support for wellness education. So we did what many would do when faced with the challenge of creating a brand new wellness curriculum from scratch. We found experts and we asked them to give presentations. We reached out to a variety of individuals in campus groups, scheduling one-off presentations on topics like stress management, burnout prevention, and work-life balance. Despite being called workshops, these primarily consisted of the presenter standing at the front of the room talking and everyone else sitting and listening. The result was a disjointed curriculum that students hated. That feedback forced us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Traditional wellness education, prescriptive, lecture-based, and disjointed from practice doesn't work. Students don't need another person telling them what wellness looks like. They need tools for discovering what wellness means to them, and they need systems that actually support their well-being rather than contributing to their burden. Our well-intentioned lineup of expert presentations had become exactly what we were trying to prevent: another source of stress in their lives. This realization led us to completely reimagine our approach. Rather than continuing to go at it alone, we partnered with the Center for Campus Wellness to create something completely different. An approach that would put students at the center of their wellness journey rather than passive recipients of wellness advice.
So the typical way that most of our campus partners engage with our health education content is through one-time presentations on a variety of different health and wellness topics. And that's a great place to start. But as we heard, that's not always really the most engaging way for students to receive that information. So we get really excited when we have an opportunity to work collaboratively to build programming that addresses needs of specific student groups or maybe challenges that they're facing. Even more exciting is getting an opportunity to work on designing a semester-long curriculum that centers holistic well-being. So we were very excited about the opportunity to work with the pharmacy program on this. Partially because it's challenging for us to engage students in this content when we know they're very busy, and asking them to come and sit through presentations or workshops on health education information in their free time outside of their courses is something that is a big ask. It's hard for them to do. So we also know that burnout, which is part of what sparked this redesign of the seminar course, is a systems level problem. And so thinking about structural ways that we can support students' well-being rather than just giving them individual tools that they can use to try to address that is something that we get really excited about. And so when we started thinking about how we wanted to restructure this seminar, we decided that we wanted to use the wellness wheel as kind of our foundation. My office uses the 9-dimensional wellness wheel for most of our programming, and you'll see different versions of this used at different schools and different places around the country. Some have 6 dimensions, some have 8 dimensions, but the categories that are listed here are all things that we know impact people's health and well-being, individuals. And so we like to, when we introduce this to students, we like to say no one is ever going to be 100% in all of these different areas. So that's not our goal. But by breaking wellness down into these different topics, we are then able to see where someone is doing well and where someone might need some additional support. And it helps us to create some more actionable steps towards improving their well-being. So what my team did, the biggest thing that my team did when working on this curriculum was we developed 3 2-hour interactive workshops. We took a lot of the feedback that we got from the students in the pharmacy program and really tried to make these as engaging as possible. And so I'm just going to give you a brief description of what those look like. So our first workshop, we called it Wellness RX. We introduced the wellness wheel to students. We talked about how this would be used throughout the semester, and then we brought them together and we broke them into groups because the class has 60 students. Broke them into groups and did group wellness coaching with them. What wellness coaching is a client-centered intervention where it's a facilitated discussion that helps people identify areas of their well-being that they'd like to improve on, and then what improvement looks like for them in those areas. So doing the group coaching for this group was both to help them identify some group goals, but also to introduce wellness coaching to them as something that they can access as individuals in our office, and that's available to all students on campus. Then we gave students a self-reflection tool to help them identify some of their own individual health and wellness goals. Our second workshop that we did is a dinner workshop. We actually had some partnership with Teresa Dvorak on this first iteration of this. So we really like this model of working together to prepare a meal and then having some dialogue, both just because this is something that everyone needs and so it doesn't feel like a waste of time, but it also really helps to promote some social connection among the students, building some more resilience within the program, and help students to build some critical thinking skills, which some of them were we were really surprised by some things that people didn't know how to do in the kitchen, and some life skills. So then we also worked with the Resiliency Center, and this kind of harkens back to our keynote. We worked with the Resiliency Center to put together some conversation prompts using appreciative inquiry. And so that format is really about focusing on what's going well rather than what's not. So we talked to students and had them all share about where they find joy and meaning in their work and how that can help to boost them when things are difficult. And then our last workshop is our Thriving in the Digital Age workshop. We're going to be presenting on that this afternoon, so we'll get into more detail about that later. But essentially that program is about some of the harms that are caused by our digital phone-based life. And so in a similar way, we broke into smaller groups. We had 4 stations where students could have discussions around the different harms and how they had impacted them in their lives. what kinds of things they had used that were beneficial for them, and then we shared some research-backed skills and tools that they could use and put into practice.
To further empower student engagement in their wellness, we also created an elective wellness activity component to the course. We provided students with a list of 8 wellness activities spaced throughout the semester, with each activity tied to a different domain of the wellness wheel. Students had the autonomy to choose at least 4 activities to participate in, and they documented their participation by submitting 2 to 3 key takeaways to Canvas. Think about the difference. Rather than sitting in a classroom learning about what burnout looks like, they were actively participating in group hikes, participating in student loan lunch and learns, or doing a trivia showdown. The transformation was remarkable. Course evaluations reflected this with comments like, rather than feeling like a chore, I actually wanted to participate. I loved all the activities this semester, and I really appreciated getting to know the faculty and my classmates on a deeper level. Rather than dreading this course, students started actually looking forward to the workshops and to the elective wellness activities. Now, I want to be clear, this isn't a perfect solution to all of the challenges that we face in student wellness. We haven't solved the issue of mental health crises in graduate education or eliminated burnout from pharmacy school. What we have done is taken a positive step forward by fundamentally changing how we approach wellness in our curriculum. So today, I challenge every educator here. Evaluate your program's wellness initiatives. Are you lecturing about self-care while perpetuating systems that undermine it? Do you treat wellness as a core component of your curriculum, or is it still an optional add-on? Are you trying to do it all on your own, or are you leveraging the expertise that we already have on campus? I encourage you to reevaluate your approach and maybe put a new spin on it. Let's work together to create a campus culture where wellness can truly thrive. Thank you.